Thanks for joining us again for Thought for the Week. A recent edition of Crime Watch focused upon the rise of hate crime in this country. It had happened particularly after the vote concerning our membership of the European Union. And for reasons I don't fully understand, in this country it seemed particularly to focus upon people from Poland. Now, let me just read, if I may, a definition of hate crime. It's prejudice-motivated crime, often violent, which occurs when the perpetrator targets a victim because of his or her membership of a certain social group. That social group might be related to language, to physical appearance, to religion, or to sexual orientation. And so far as the United States is concerned, maybe the thing that most of us are familiar with is the attitude of the police to black people in that country. It's interesting also to discover that there are laws about hate crime in some 30 different nations today. But it's not a new situation. It goes back almost to the beginning of time. We know that there was hatred between the Roman authorities and Christians. We know, coming much more up to date, there was hatred between the Nazis and the Jewish race. And yet as Christians we need to come and deal with hatred with love and with forgiveness. Not necessarily national hate crime, but in those occasions when we feel like saying to somebody else, I hate you. Can I just share two examples of this that I think are outstanding? The first was recorded, and I read it in a book by Terry Waiters called Taken on Trust, in which he records the experience of being blindfolded and spending 1,763 days in isolation in a cell in Beirut. And yet, in a marvellous way, there's never any sense of hatred towards those who dealt with him in that way. Or earlier, the story of Corrie ten Boom, who was kept in prison for her faith during the Second World War. And yet, after the end of that war, she met the person who kept her in prison. And all she had was love and forgiveness for that man. We live in a world where there is too much hate. And we need to be those agents of love and of forgiveness. So let me close with a prayer. Lord, make me a channel of your peace. Where there's hatred, let there be love in the world today, for Jesus' sake. Thanks for joining us. See you again next week.